What's up? Oh, it's embarrassing. It's Kurcher85, and I'm back with another video. I hope you didn't miss me too much. I was gone for a little bit. I just wanted to take a break a little bit. I wasn't I deleted YouTube Studio. That's a lie. That's that's literally a lie. I was literally looking at it, but anyways, that doesn't matter. We're not talking about that today. I'm back, and hopefully I'll have more video ideas. But the point is, today I saw F1. That's the whole point, is that I saw F1 today, and I got some thoughts in the old noggin of mine. So I saw it in a really nice IMAX theater, like really nice, and like Joseph Krasinski, I think that's how you say his last name, knows how to direct a freaking action sequence, like a freaking racing sequence, or like any type of sequence that's like cars moving or like planes moving, because he did Top Gun. It's like, oh, he's gonna kill that. He's gonna do really good at that. But after Top Gun Maverick, I was like, okay, he can do that, but can he do like a good story? Like, Top Gun Maverick had like a good story, but it wasn't like riveting necessarily. Like, I think the romance in that movie is very annoying, and like, I don't know. I have some very small problems with Top Gun Maverick, but overall I love Top Gun Maverick. I think it's so fun and so cool and so manly. And so I was like, okay, F1 is going to be sick. I'm going to love F1. And guys, I'm not in love with it, but I also really liked it. It's the dichotomy of man. And so here we go. Is that the driving sequences in this movie are incredible. They're pretty incredible. If you had any doubts that they were going to be incredible, they are incredible. They're pretty cool. And you know, there's a ton of really intense like racing sequences that go on for a while and are super entertaining and good, and especially in like IMAX. Go see it in IMAX if you can. But my problem with it is that it's so inconsistent, like character-wise and pacing-wise, and well, pacing-wise is actually pretty consistent, but character-wise and story structure-wise, it's so basic to where it is like distractingly basic and distractingly like repetitive at times, and just kind of like comes across as so like lazy. And like I get that this is kind of a showcase of how he can direct an action sequence, or a showcase of how he gets like that kind of stuff across, but we can't just like completely disregard the story of this movie, because yes, the effects of it are great. Like, the racing sequences are really fast and really energetic and really fun, but the story of this movie is so incredibly basic and so boring that it is just like you check out almost whenever it gets to those points. And I don't know, and it feels a lot like reheated nachos from Top Gun Maverick. There's a lot of similar shots, even like of him walking up. Like, there's that shot in Top Gun Maverick of him coming on the tarmac, and it's like kind of a big like yes moment. There's literally one of those at 2 separate times in this movie, and it's like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but can you do like something else? Like, I know you can. And so, hold on. And so I think ultimately it does take away from the racing moments, because you're just so uninvested in these characters, and so like, okay, because so much of what happens and so much of the backstory of these characters is so flashback heavy and so like word heavy that it never like has its impact, I think, in my opinion, which might be a bullshit take, because there are some like pretty effective like moments of character growth, but they all feel very like forced, and they also feel very like, we have to get this done in order to get to the good stuff, like rushed almost. And yeah, like, there's a character. Okay, yeah. There's a romance subplot in this movie that is just the most like throwaway plot I've ever seen. I've ever seen. Because this movie is not about this main character trying to find love. It's not about him trying to, get like mentally to a place where he can be in a relationship with a person. And so that's why whenever this romantic subplot, hold on, there's people talking. Yeah, so it gets to a point where when these characters are like falling in love, it's like, why are we even watching this? Like, why is this in an F1 movie? I want to see inter-team relationships. I want to see like what's going on, like the pressures and all that stuff of racing that big, and the like tension that comes between teammates and the staff that's like working on the cars. But I don't want to see him like fall in love with one of them for no reason. Like, it feels such like a crowd fulfilling like type of storyline where we have to give people that are coming to this with their families like a happy ending that's like, oh, Andy falls in love with another white woman. Like, okay, I don't think that that's very like engaging, and I don't think that that's very like interesting to watch. I think movies need to more stick to their concept and have, because that's also a problem I had with Top Gun, is just this like forced romance. And I think it's a very basic critique to have, is like, oh, I didn't like the romance, but I think it's still very valid because it's wasting time and it's stretching this movie out way longer than it has to be. This movie's 2.5 hours, and I just don't see why. I just don't see why this couldn't have been a 2-hour movie at the most. And then that also just gets me to these characters in the movie. I just don't think they're good. I don't think there's good characters in this movie really at all. None of the characters come across as very likable, or they don't come across as likable. One of the following. They don't come across as likable, realistic, motivated. None of those are like, there's always something holding a character back. Like, the main character's rival in the movie is like this younger racer, because it does follow one of the stories of like the older generation versus the younger generation, which is something I can get behind. Like, it's Cars 3 pretty much. But they make the younger generation guy just the worst. He's just the worst. He's like immediately egocentric, immediately annoying, immediately rude, and just like brash, especially like towards not just his rival, but just like everybody. And it is not something like, I don't want to watch this guy. I don't want to watch him have a whole like redemption arc, because that's not like, I do want to watch him have a redemption arc, but starting him off as this like terrible guy that is annoying, it's like, okay, just say you hate the younger generation. I'm just kidding. But like, just say, I don't know. It's like, hold on. You do want to see every character have a natural redemption arc, but starting him off at such a low level and just making him like clearly just like egotistical and like, I don't know. It comes across as weird, and I don't fuck with it. And a lot of but that's a problem with a lot of characters in this movie, is that they're just so flat and lifeless and like just like cardboard cutouts of people. And Brad Pitt has never given a more like Brad Pitt performance. Like, he literally is just the most like basic. It's just the most basic performance ever, and it's not his fault. It's because there's nothing in the script that gets him acting. There's nothing that he can do with like these like scenes of them just like talking about romance, because there's nothing in that character that's like, I don't know, driving that. It's just a mess. But but I also think what I've complained about is like a minuscule part of like the movie, and is not a reason to like not go see it or anything, because I genuinely do think it's a really fun time, and I think the camera work is really good at times. I think the editing is okay. It's very fast-paced. It goes with the beat a lot of times. It feels a little Bohemian Rhapsody at times, like unnecessary cuts and just kind of like jumping and jittering for no reason. And same with like the camera work. There's some shots where I'm like, why would they put that in there? Like, it just looks like vibrations, and I don't know. But again, it's kind of matching the point and the feeling of F1. Yeah, there is also a lot of product placement in this movie, though, because it's Apple. It's an Apple movie, so there's a lot of like Apple products, and like F1 cars are just an enigma of like product placement. Like, just put as many logos on one car as you can, and you got it. And they don't hold back on those. There's a lot of Red Bull, and there's a lot of like other stuff that's, you know, very blatant. And yeah, a lot of times, I do have, okay, this is a spoiler, so overall, I'm going to say one more critique after this that's a spoiler, but I'll say overall, I think you really should see it. I think it's really good, if you want to have a fun time. I don't think it's necessarily, like, going to blow anyone away or inspire anybody with its story, necessarily, but go see it. It's really fun. But, like, yeah, we spend this whole movie trying to get Brad Pitt, trying to get the main guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me. I can't remember anybody's name, to first place. Like, it's the biggest thing is that we need to get them to first place. And we're working there. It feels like a rope pull. Like, every race we're getting a little closer, and it's getting better. And then on the last scene, the last race, it just time jumps, and he's already in first place. And it's like, how did he get there? What? This whole movie has been trying to get him to first place, and we don't even get to see him go to first place? Are you kidding me? And that's a problem I have with a lot of the sequences in this movie about, like, the pacing of the racing sequences are often very, like, jittery and, like, don't really make a lot of sense and are very compilation-like. And there are a few compilations in this movie, a few, what are they called? Montages. And a lot of the time the racing sequences can feel like montages too, just because of how the nature of F1 driving, I guess, is it's just so repetitive, but it feels like we've missed out on a lot of things at times. But I don't know. This might have come across very rambly. I haven't recorded in a while, like 5 days, but I've been doing good. I appreciate y'all, if you're watching this, for sticking around, and also watching a movie review, which don't normally do crazy, but they're what I'm passionate about. I really love talking about movies, and yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching, and go see F1 in the theaters, and that's gonna be it for me today, I think, unless I can think of something else to talk about. No. Alright, that's gonna be it for me today. I appreciate y'all for watching. Kurtcherd85 out.